Hi guys, welcome back to U.S. History. What I want to talk to you about today is our SNAP acronym and how you can apply that to an actual essay question in order to figure out what that question wants you to achieve. So if we remember back to SNAP, I always want you to start with the A, which is the action word. That's almost always the first word in an essay question, but not always. It's going to be a verb. You want to identify that verb and figure out what that verb is asking you to do. In this case, the verb is the word analyze. So we've identified that right away that we need to analyze. Now, what does analyze mean? In this case, it means how and why. This question is going to require us to dive in pretty deep to something, to not scratch the surface, but to explain things in a good amount of detail. And that's the analyze in terms of this question that we're being asked to do. The S in the SNAP acronym is subject. So if we read this question, I'll give you a second to read this. This is our subject. The restriction of immigration, okay? And specifically, what caused this, okay? The word that's used is factors. That's the subject of this essay, is what caused the U.S. to decide to restrict immigration. That's the subject. Action word is analyze. The second letter in the acronym is number. Not every essay prompt has a specific number of things that you need to address. This one does. Here's the first, and here's the second. You're being asked to address two specific factors, two specific types of factors that led to this restriction. In terms of this essay, this is an easy way to separate your body paragraphs into one and two. It's built into the question. Oftentimes you're going to be asked to address a certain number of things. I want to make sure that I emphasize to you that you need to identify those things in the question if they are there. The very last piece of SNAP is time period. The letter P. You might think that it's in the 20s, that the 20s is the time period that's being addressed here, but it's actually before that. If you're being asked to talk about what led to the restriction in the 20s, the time period you're talking about is before the 20s, and maybe even during the 20s. So that wraps it up today for how to use SNAP with an actual question.